All right, y'all. So, as you can see here, yes, I have no shirt on, but I have pants on. Okay. Now, something that I want to speak about. Oh, and also, this is Lone One Tread. Okay. Or Matt. All right. First and foremost, I hope everyone is doing somewhat okay on the surface, right? We got to have a smile on their face. We got to have a presentable, uh, personality, right? I get it. It's all good. Now, something I want to speak about, okay, is essentially the dynamics of men and women, but with my generation, Gen Z. Okay. So let's just say, you go to college. Okay. Well, when you go to college, you are in an environment with other, presumably like minded people as far as age and as far as, ideology and perhaps politics or any other facets of life, right? And obviously, this will allow you to experience new people, new ethnic backgrounds, cultures, whatever, right? Now, college for many people is an experience, right? It's an experience that encompasses, you know, partying, social networking, right? Doing degenerate behavior, okay? Um, Learning new skills, perhaps, obviously attaining a college degree or certifications, okay? And there's some other things, right? Going to football games, basketball games, whatever may be applicable to your college experience or university, right? So, for young women who are in college, they're usually energetic, they're excited, they're, I'm sure, nervous too, right? They're hyperbolic, and, they're just kind of riding that time of their early 20s, their youthfulness, right? Learning themselves, figure out who do they want to be, what people do they want in their circle, if any at all, and again, just experiencing what college is or university. Okay. Now, for young men, this is a little different because for young men, we don't have inherent value until we provide value, right? Which means you give back to the world through a service or services that in which you provide as a young man. Okay. Now, for young men, college is still an experience, right? If you're in a fraternity, okay, going to the football games, obviously you're in class with, you know, other guys and gals that are close in your age, if not the same. You know, y'all do this together, y'all do that. You have some alcohol, whatever. Okay. Now I will say there's different like. There you go. Someone's getting tired. um, During your time in college, there's like this. Um, I guess well, I want to say it like this. Okay, so everybody who goes to college has different reasons as to why. Most of it's because they just want to get out of their hometown, they want to experience something new, and their friends are going there, right? Now, the other thing is, for young men, college can be like, how am I going to put this in words? It's hit or miss. Because, see, if you go to college and you have a degree that is not geared towards a solid, like paying starting level position, and this is the same for women, but especially for men, because as men, when we get older, like when we're in our later 20s and 30s and so forth and so on, we want to be established, most of us, right? We want to have a, you know, ability to provide for ourselves, for perhaps, a significant other or a family, if that be is applicable to you. And we want to be grounded and, again, be able to provide value and get love, intimacy, and fulfillment back from society, right? So going to college, you definitely want to be cognizant of what major in which you decide to, go after. Now, women, okay, at this time, they're usually not going to take you too seriously because, again, you have not provided value. You have not created a personality or a name for yourself in which you are viewed as valuable. You're a person that they would trust or go to. Okay. Dating in college is usually, I don't want to say it's surface level, but there's a lot of nuances with it, right? There's a lot of like status class type thing. Like, oh, he's the football player. So, of course, he's going to get more recognition, supposedly, from women than, say, Ned over here, who's just going to college to get a degree in engineering. He's on the smaller side, like myself, right? He's not particularly attractive to the standards of most women, right? Of his age range, okay? So that's how women kind of look at it. Most of them. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule and there's some outliers, as there usually is, right? But in the grand scheme of things, for young men, we have so many options, and so do women, but especially young men, we have so many options to provide value and to learn things in our youthful time. Because, you can go to college, you can go to trade school, you can, get out in the workforce and then just try to like essentially stack up money and then create your own business or businesses, obviously the military, or doing any admirable acts of service, at least as how most people view it, like being a law enforcement officer, firefighter, paramedic, what have you, right? So, those are the ways in which we can provide value. And obviously there's an array of many other ways to do it, okay? And once you get established in something and you're a man of purpose, confidence, you're charismatic, and you know how to socially engage with people and make people feel good, to include women or a single lady will be likely to, stick it out with you. And this is one of the hardest things for Gen Z young men, is essentially finding a latter part of him to stick with him through the thick and thin, right? Through the hard times, through the trials and tribulations, through the long nights. Because for me, I always felt like if I'm going to date somebody, I want to date somebody of context, right? I can be attracted to many women, right? Okay. But if we're going to date, like if I'm going to singly date one person, I will asphyxiate myself, not necessarily. So don't take this as like, because someone's going to take it as his rhetoric, simping, right? But essentially, I'm not going to be oohing and lusting over like, other women because they're attractive. Obviously, yes, there's got to be some level of physical first appearance attractiveness for you to want to possibly pursue a woman. I mean, am I wrong? Or she wants to pursue you, right? But obviously women particularly don't pursue men, in terms of like, they're not just going to walk and say, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. No. Women will typically go in environments and put themselves in environments where men will be present so that men can peacock themselves to said women, right? And this is where college is interesting, because everybody's kind of on the same playing field, but then you have like different like levels of people in college. Like you have people who have parents who are very well off, so they have plenty of money to be able to go to parties and clubs and vacation and basically experience life as if like they really don't have to fight for things, okay? Because vacationing is expensive, right? I've never been in it, so I could be completely wrong. But being in a fraternity or sorority costs money. That's additional money that, that your parent or parents or whoever's paying for your college is dishing out for you. So they're going to hold you accountable as well. So if you decide to like say, oh, well, mom and dad, I want to drop out of college, they're probably going to be like, I don't know, son or daughter, like maybe you should rethink that. I don't know. Or maybe they'll be in favor of it. Who knows? Because then, they don't have to, continue to contribute to something that you're not truly stuck on, right? So, but yeah, this video, I talked about a few different things, but essentially what happens is, um, for dating, especially if you're young, if you go to college, I'll say dating is generally easier just because you have more pool of options. But obviously, this really comes down to you and if those options see you as viable, right? As someone they want to be around. Because if you are very antisocial or selectively social, I'm guilty, and you're very like typically closed off or reclusive, even to other women, then uh, basically they may view you as abnormal, as different, the odd man out, right? Because you're not actively pursuing, them, or you're not showing any direct interest, right? You're solely focused on yourself. And of course, this does come at a cost. You can date people, right? But also work on yourself. Or you can just work on yourself and not date people at all. Like I said in a previous video, I'm 25. I've never had a girlfriend, okay? Partly by choice, but also because of, I'm not in environments where I'm around women of my age or even older, right? Okay, to exacerbate any options. And I'm in a point where I'm trying to essentially improve myself, okay, and make myself more marketable. Because at the end of the day, you have to market yourself, right? You have to advertise yourself. Why are you worthy of her time and her attention, okay, and of her body, her temple, okay? She wants to know that. She says, like, women aren't just going to let you essentially use them. I mean, there might be some, I don't know, but they're not going to do that because they value themselves. Women who value themselves value themselves. They value their body, their emotions, and they value, their relationships with people, to include their family and their friends. And they seek approval from them because if they're going to bring a young man into their life, they want to bring, that young man who is honorable, who's confident, charismatic, and has purpose to their dad, right? Okay, their mom or their guardian. Because I can tell you this right now, I would imagine most parents are going to be, I wouldn't say they're going to be critical of a person dating their daughter, but especially a man, he's going to want to know that this young man has a good head on his shoulders. He's not just trying to get into, her pants, right? And he's actually got goals and objectives that he's actively reaching, or he's trying to to achieve. So just keep that in mind. But this was a shorter video. I didn't want to make it too long, just because I just don't, and it takes a little bit of time for these videos to upload on my iPhone here. And yeah, so I would love to hear everyone's input. Obviously, every situation is different. There's going to be nuances in everything, but that's just kind of my opinion of like how your environment for dating and timing can definitely, dictate how you date and if you date and what kind of options you do or don't have. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got. Low one treading.